So this is my experience of working at Virgin Media as a customer service advisor, and the role was typically taking calls from customers, inquiring about flights, about prices, about destinations, and you would have to have a very sound knowledge about how to book flights, what type of the kind of aircrafts that Virgin Atlantic had, the type of seats, the type of travel classes, so economy, premium, and also people taking into consideration people with special requirements such as disabilities or people traveling with minors, babies, young children, and or people who had special issues, special requirements related to their diet and health. And you kind of, every call was different. You had to really listen to the customer requirements and make sure that you give them the correct advice in a non-judgmental and accurate way, finding a primary solution on the call. For me, I went through the training, and the training was very friendly. The trainer really made sure that we were able to learn to the best of our ability all the policies, procedures, and services that Virgin Media provides. And it was all done in a light-hearted, humorous way. For me personally, I applied Virgin Media because I was looking for a job that would challenge me and that would stimulate me, and because it's something that I really struggled to find within my working life, finding a job where I found true purpose and meaning for doing it. But after a while, I realized that I felt a bit of out of place, a bit of an imposter, purely because I'm not a well-traveled person. I don't go abroad every year to some exotic destination, and ultimately, fundamentally, Virgin Atlantic, they offer destinations are exotic, far-flung destinations such as the USA, Caribbean for the most part. But obviously, I know it's very USA centric, and also Asia, so places like Singapore, China. These are all destinations that are at the core of Virgin Atlantic's existence, and a lot of people, because there was people who had previously worked for them, they had all this experience, all these stories to tell about traveling, and me, as a non-traveler, I didn't have anything to say. So you feel like, am I really the right person to represent this brand? Do I have the authentic personality necessary? Because I've never traveled. I've never been a traveler. Not because I don't like new cultures, but simply it requires time and money, something which I never had. I was born in, and also I come from a family that is not well traveled, that has never been anywhere, because my for example, my mother, she was just a devoted housewife, and my father, well, he had this, he was never really an active person. He never really did much in terms of interests and hobbies. So I wasn't really inspired by anybody. And obviously, traveling, especially global travel on a mass scale, has only been around for the last probably 35 years maximum, when in the 90s, when travel became more affordable, and that's when it started to kick off. But historically speaking, most people, most of our human life has been spent in one location, just trying to survive, and that's pretty much it. Only if you go back to 100 years ago, only the privileged, like the royals or very wealthy landowners, would probably travel. All the majority of people, like the peasantry, wouldn't they wouldn't have a holidays. It was an alien concept to them. But anyway, after a while, I realized that I became really insecure because of that, because of my lack of travel, and I decided to leave the job. But otherwise, I would assume that those who like to travel would fit in better than someone like myself, and ultimately I would recommend it as a place to work just purely because ultimately you're trained to do what you have to do, how to take the calls effectively, and you're supported if you have any issues or struggles. So overall, I would say it's a decent company to work for. But let me know what your experience has been to work as Virgin Atlantic, whether it's in head office, in the customer service, or cabin crew.